Welcome to One Show Behind. This is Nick.
And this is Monica.
And we're back. This is One Show Behind, a podcast that is about drinking kava and doing dives
shallowly
into kava-related music. In this first series, we are shallowly diving into Nawarake's recent release as of last year, Vanuatu Proud, released in July of 2021. We did not stick the landing on this series. We started it off in September of last year, and we're picking it up now with the second track of Vanuatu Proud, the titular track, Vanuatu Proud. That was a very confusing sentence. I just said Vanuatu Proud like 4 times in that sentence. But we started off with the first track of Vanuatu Citizen and actually had a premiere episode looking at Kava Skin, an older track by the artist Nawarake out of Vanuatu. So today we'll be jumping into Vanuatu Proud and listening to that. That track features Yash Shing, Lady Rudy, and Nadi Kipa. So tonight we are drinking kava-related, and we have a spread of washamouth or whakaifo kava chasers. What do we have on tap tonight?
On tap tonight we have apples, Sprite, salad, and some leftover ham. But more importantly, we have illegally imported Burger King.
Yes, we've got the Fijian Burger King double cheeseburgers.
So it'll be a lovely dinner, but the washmouth spread is a little weak tonight.
Nah, I'd say it's pretty strong. I mean, how often do you get ham as part of the washmouth spread?
Week old ham, yes.
It's sliced ham. It's nice. There's some like kettle chips. Kettle chips weren't always in Tonga, and now they're in Tonga. They're a big deal.
Yeah, it was a good shopping week.
They're good potato chips. I'm just saying. I think we'll go
have
a shell.
Shall we shell?
And then when we get them back, we will jump into the song Vanuatu Proud.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. Lift them up, everyone. And we're back. This is One Shell Behind, and we are going to be jumping into the song Vanuatu Proud. It's the second track on the album Vanuatu Proud by Nawarake, released last year in July of 21 for Vanuatu Independence. We're actually moving towards Vanuatu Independence Day again, with July 30 coming up in a couple weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks. So, if you haven't been able to tell from the description of the show and what we've said so far, we're going to be going through each of those tracks in each episode. And today's episode, we'll be diving into Vanuatu Proud. So, without further ado, let's listen to the first chorus and verse with Yash Singh and Nawarake.
Vanuatu, you humble me proud on you. Vanuatu, you good to much. Oh yes, me love them you. Vanuatu, inakat narapele salsem you. Vanuatu, me proud on you. Oh yes, me tell them true.
Yeah, one peaceful nation, unique in God's creation. Long God, you stand up in me, time blow celebration. From Vanuatu in me, sweet, all people, only kind. Brown in me, rich to mass more. So what I shine from the furthest village, south long Umich, Lokeya Mugo, Kasem North, one time long Torres Islands, up long Hugh. I've seen your stunning beauty and experienced your blessings. When in need, you gave me shelter. I was hungry, then you fed me. And though there's sometimes challenges, we always work together to make our village and our island and our nation better. Vanuatu, you make them hot, blow me fat. Tami lukam custom danis mo. Tami kakai lap. Me love you too much more. Me always proud of you. If you agree with me, then please sing along too.
Vanuatu, you home on me.
All right, and that is the first chorus and verse of Vanuatu Proud. I think like one of my favorite parts of the track is Yash Singh, who's a fairly new like artist within Vanuatu, at least coming out more recently with some singles tracks and features, and like his guitar and voice are just
unmatched.
Yeah, unmatched. Yes, unmatched is a good way to describe it. He just adds such a depth to the song that I love so much, and it's just such a catchy chorus, right?
Yeah, I mean, I said this last episode, but it's another example of peak Nawarake, where he just blends the English and Bislama, and he brings in and highlights other people's strengths, and is able to just completely create a brilliant song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the verses on this one are, I mean, they're pretty long. It's like it's an impressive track of the weaving of these kind of like almost like folksy acoustic pieces, and then the actual the hip hop verse interweaving those, and just kind of like the way it's kind of painting a picture too, right? It's like painting a picture of the beauty of Vanuatu and what to be proud of, and all of these like amazing things in the way that he describes each of them. And he's going through at some points it's almost like spoken word. It reminds me of spoken word.
Well, I mean, compared to Vanuatu Citizen, this is a more like optimistic and positive anthem, right? So if in the last track he laid out the problems and the ongoing issues with COVID and the problems that were present in July 2021, this is more of a celebration of the people, land, and oceans, right? All of the inherent blessings of the island nation, right?
Yeah. I remember you had mentioned, and it's in Vanuatu Citizen, the track like specifically mentions 2020, and we were wondering like when was the recording of it, like because it could have been in the midst of 2020, it could have been 2021, looking back on 2020 as a horrible year. And you're right, this one is much more optimistic. There's also kind of a more mellow tone of it. It's a slowed down rhythm and beat, which probably kind of brings out the kind of feeling of more of a spoken word when it comes to the rap sections.
And you can easily see this being performed at 30 July celebrations, right? Like you can see Nawarake drinking a shell of kava to this song as everybody sings along to celebrate.
Yeah, it's certainly that kind of like taps into that like nationalism, patriotism, feeling, that pride in your country and in your as a part of your identity.
Easily adapt this for tourism advertisements.
Oh, certainly. Definitely within the music video that's available on YouTube, you can check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes. You kind of get all of that, and it's a very kind of feel-good effect of everyone coming together in a really cool way.
Yeah, I mean, they're celebrating respect, honor, paradise, sense of home, acceptance. Mm-hmm. It's all laid out there.
Yeah. So why don't we go into the second chorus and the second verse? So in this case, the second chorus will be Yash again, but they bring in Lady Rudy, who's another newer artist, or at least has just started kind of coming out and joining on tracks and collaborating, and she's featured on a few different tracks on Vanuatu Proud, and she harmonizes with Yash during the chorus, and then the next verse is actually Yash himself doing the verse before going back into the next chorus. So with that said, let's dive on in.
Vanuatu, you good to much. Oh yes, me love them you. Vanuatu, Inokanara pele sol sem you. Vanuatu, me proud on you. Oh yes, me tell them through. Me proud, me show him out, look out. The flag blow you, me fly on top, look cloud. All man only shout, them sing out loud. Vanuatu, me proud. Plant a man only laugh, cheek, mouth out. But wait and big man, grassroots to his harvest stand out. One wise man, it's all them before. Respect him, me honorable. Live simple, pay you nothing, thing small. Try local price at town, a black man town. Stop and count from you, meet you cut crown. Paradise blown, you meet to Vanuatu, you home long me. Me proud of you.
All right, so that's the second chorus and second verse. I think, again, one of my favorite parts about the song is just that very catchy chorus, but you have Yosh harmonizing with Lady Rudy, and it's such a... Like, I don't think I really caught on to it as much until I saw the video where I saw them singing together, and then you start really kind of picking apart the different voices in the song, because they harmonize incredibly well, and I think that really stands out. And then, of course, Yosh's verse, which is just, is terrific. He's an incredibly talented artist, and I love the kind of like picking out these things of like, living simply, respect is honorable, but don't think too small. Like, you can grow. I think he has the one line about going from the grassroots to going on on to something bigger. So this like kind of visionary like tale he talks about in the under the concept of being proud as they go towards independence.
Yeah, like lifting up the grassroots approaches and focusing on the strengths. Do want to highlight, though, Lady Rudy's wardrobe in this music video. It's absolutely worth checking out. She has a pink and floral island dress, and it's absolutely bomb. And then in some of the shots where she's over the harbor, she's got these really trendy ripped jeans with combat boots, and I just feel like she absolutely nailed the wardrobe aspects of this. I know we're focusing on the audio, but also the visual of the music video is worth checking out as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The visuals and the video are terrific. The one thing I thought when I first was watching it recently, really, was just like the amount of coordination that went into kind of bringing all of these people together.
Oh, you mean the parade on the beach that they somehow choreographed?
Yeah, there's a parade. There's just so many people involved, and just the amount of coordination needed to go through with that and to plan that is just, it's outstanding. And it's a really cool scene to be able to see. And it makes the song really come to life with the kind of representation going on. It actually reminds me of a lot of string band videos where they would bring people out and they would do the dances, and you can kind of see that similar behavior in the way that people are moving, because that's a typical music video, right? It's not usually kind of a mellow, more folksy mixed with hip hop, like. Well,
particularly when you get to the choreographed parts on the dock, right, where they have the custom wear going on, and you can see the different dances going on, as well as the three vocalists. It's really well organized. Well executed. Yeah,
it is really cool stuff. All right, do you want to go into the last chorus and last verse? We're going to go back to this. We have a chorus with Yosh and Lady Rudy leading into a final verse from Nawarake, and that closes out with another chorus to finish out the song.
Vanuatu, you good to much. Oh yes, me love them you. Vanuatu. Ina kanara pele sel you. Vanuatu, me proud of you. Oh yes, me tell them true.
Proud of Vanuatu, the nation where we live. Proud say you me family. No matter color skin, no matter one I'm province, no matter one I'm island. Suppose you blow Vanuatu, then you should have some pride then. Francophone or Anglophone, me no really care. Bislama, Emi, Lincoln, you me. No matter where Vanuatu you come from, no matter where you come from. Suppose you flew Lupubu Shell, or suppose you kill him Tam Tam. Suppose you Danis John from, or suppose you jump Lo Nangol. Suppose you come Lo Villa Town, or suppose you come Lo Santo. Everywhere you walk about, you see the smiling faces. Save finish, Vanuatu has all my favorite places. No other place in the world where I wanna be. God bless Vanuatu, so proud of my country.
Vanuatu, you home on me. Oh, me proud of you. Vanuatu, you good to much. Oh yes, me love them you. Vanuatu. Inakanara pele S01E02 Vanuatu, me proud long you. Oh yes, me tell them true.
You know, I kind of wonder, because it's almost is like more of the song is the chorus in this one. And it certainly features Yosh in a very, you know, distinctive way, and Lady Rudy too, but Yosh has that very kind of prominent, like, voice within it, the guitar, and the kind of, like...
Well, it's almost highlighting the collaboration, right? Which is
Yeah.
almost the theme of the song and is the theme of independence, right? Like nobody really stands on their own here. It's all a group effort to create that final sound.
Yeah, and it's this very particularly, like, catchy song, catchy chorus. So you can sing along to it. It brings on that kind of, group feeling of being able to, like, you can imagine at a concert, everyone, like, you know, swaying back and forth and singing along with the song. And just, like, you know, remembering it just brings, you know, like, it's catchy and it's inspiring, and, like, they just do a terrific job with bringing it all together.
I do like in this last Nawarake verse where he highlights all the different languages and activities that define Vanuatu, right? So he goes through, it doesn't matter if you're Francophone or Anglophone, because Bislama is going to unite you, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you dance John Frum or if you do Nongle jumping, which, you know, is north to south, east to west. It's all united under the one Vanuatu front. So, I mean, I think that's kind of like a trademark Nawarake thing where he gives you very specific activities and then, unites it in the end.
Yeah, like, absolutely. I mean, Vanuatu's got that uniqueness of having, you know, the most vernacular languages per capita than any other country in the world, with like 110 plus vernacular languages across the country, indicating, you know, how many different tribes within the country and different regions.
And could be super divisive.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, historically, there has been, you know, a certain level of divisiveness, and I'm sure a lot of that has come out of the colonization and the condominium government with the French and the English, leading up to independence. But yeah, there's a lot of differences throughout the country, and they're all kind of united under the singular flag and singular nation, and brought together by a singular language, Bislama. And I know a lot of discussions. I remember there is one of the instructors at USP, Helen Tam Tam, I think that's her name. I'm pretty confident that's her name. Is a language specialist, linguistics specialist, and she's written a lot of papers on kind of like formalizing Bislama as a language and legitimizing the use of Bislama, and formalizing, legitimizing. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I think, you know, as he brings it up, this linking, this language that links us, this language that brings us together, I think it further kind of adds to that, you know, legitimacy of this language that started off as a pidgin, has since become a Creole, and is an official language alongside. Actually, I'm not sure it's an official language. Actually, I might take that back. I think English and French might be the official languages, and Bislama...
Even though it's the one that's the working one?
They use it. The government uses it. We probably want to look that one up, because I'm not sure. I mean, that might have been the argument, too, to legitimize it, right? That, you know, let's say that this is an official language, because, you know, I know in a lot of...
according to Wikipedia, it is one of the official languages of Vanuatu.
That is good to hear. I'll have to take a look at the history on that one.
I don't know how accurate this is, but it is the first language of many of the, quote, urban Ni Vanuatu, and the second language of many of the rest of the country's residents. Mm-hmm. I don't know who wrote this.
Yeah. I mean, that does certainly add more further legitimacy to it. And I know the government uses that a lot, because, I mean, that's why I stopped when I said that at first, because I know that everything's printed in English, French, and Bislama, to capture all of those official languages. But I know in a lot of Melanesia, and I guess specifically Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, and PNG, the use of Bislama, Solomon's Pidgin, and Talk Pidgin in PNG often kind of people are like look down upon it. That's a challenge in the Solomons around the use of the language. So like building the legitimacy and formalizing it and giving the respect to the language as it is, like, is certainly an empowering action, and something that could should definitely be supported and
Certainly.
encouraged. And it speaks to a lot of the history too of where did that come from and how did it start, and we talk about the issues around blackbirding and the history of the colonization of the French and the English, and the attempts to communicate with people who didn't speak the same language as you, and you're trying to pull these different languages from different areas. Like it's a powerful linking language, right? There's
Completely.
that, like, if you really consider the history behind it, that single line about the ability of Bislama to link all of these different people together and then bring them together under a singular flag, a singular nation to celebrate independence. Like, it's really a powerful image, and that's really cool. I've always really, found that really inspiring, and the song captures it well, and
And you can see this, the people who are responsible for said incidents, why they would then belittle the language that came out of the atrocities. So
yeah, certainly.
I do just want to flag that Joshua went to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics as well.
Yes, he did. He went for table tennis.
He was a table tennis champion.
Yeah,
so,
he kind of came on the music scene at the same time he came on the Olympic scene.
Some people are talented.
Yeah, granted, I wasn't living there at the time, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's this guy named Yash who's this great singer and guitarist and musician, and oh yeah, he's also going to the Olympics for table tennis.
He's also an athlete. No big deal.
Yeah, I was just like, well, that's something. That's incredibly impressive.
There's an introductory video that we'll put a link in show notes so that you can check out Yash. He's got this background in the tropical paradise as he strings a guitar and talks about table tennis, so it's absolutely worth checking out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an amazing artist, and we'll certainly do some of these shallow dives into some of his music later. Highly recommend the song "Give Thanks" by Yash. One of the first ones I heard from him, I think even before this album was released, is an amazing track, and equally as deserving of praise as his performance in Vanuatu Proud. All right, so with that said, I think we will go have a shell of kava, and we will be back with you in a moment.
Let's do this.
All right, lift him up. Check out Mantis out of Vanuatu. This is one of his newest singles, Mirror, produced by 1914. You can find out more on his YouTube channel, Mantis_VU. Links in the show notes.
Yeah, I got ghosts from my past, I know. From the west coast on by, I know. Chillin' with the fam, they with more than gold. Pull them up, yeah, with them fresh taro. Roll them car beats, make it seem borrow. When I'm on the road, only thing I know. Talk down on my name everywhere I go. But can't mess with the style, can't mess with the flow, no. Yeah, I got ghosts from my past, I know. From the west coast on by, I know. Chillin' with the fam, they with more than gold. Pull them up, yeah, with them fresh taro. Roll them car beats, make it seem borrow. When I'm on the road, only thing I know. Talk down on my name everywhere I go, but can't mess with the style, can't mess with the flow. No.
And we're back to One Shell Behind. That was Vanuatu Proud, the title track from the 2021 album from Nawarake, Vanuatu Proud. All right, why don't we take a look at the numbers? Vanuatu Proud, the music video, you should definitely check it out. Links in the show notes. It's on YouTube, and it's had 10,000 views. You can get access to the entire album on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can actually download the full album from Nawarake's Facebook page. Again, links in the show notes for that. Both the Facebook page you should definitely follow to check on any new music and updates, and a link to the album itself where you can get full access to that, so you can listen to all the tracks.
Also want to flag that the intro and outro to this episode, the links will be available in show notes. So if you like the songs, you can go there and check them out.
Next week, we'll be going into... I really should say next episode. We're going to try to do it weekly. And we're going to start actually, at this point, uploading the podcast.
We'll get there.
We're getting there. We're moving on. We're professionalizing the operation. That's where we're going. We're going to go with professionalizing the operation. That sounds... Hashtag professionalizing the operation. Hashtag peak Nawarake. The next episode will go into the next track on the album, Vanuatu Proud, Yumi, which is actually, if I remember correctly, the first single that was released.
I don't recall.
I think it was. I'm fairly confident it was the first single that was released. I'd have to double check it. I don't think it doesn't have a music video. It has like a lyrics video, or it was available on early on when the album was going to be released.
Cool.
But I think it was one of the first. It was the first track that was released, and it certainly has kind of this very independence themed chorus to it. The verses talk a lot about the history. It's a very interesting and unique track. So
don't give away this preview. That's all the good stuff for next week.
Yeah, sorry. Don't mean to to spoil everything for the next episode. But yeah, we'll be jumping into Yumi, the third track on the album Vanuatu Proud. All right, so everyone, drink lots of kava. We'll catch up with you next time. Ofatu.
Love you. Take care. Bye.
If it ain't like it was deep, the heart like 15, I'm in the heart work.